Good morning and welcome to Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Kevin Smith here again at the National Weather Service in Pocatello with your weather hazard briefing for Southeast Idaho. And we chose a thunderstorm image to kick off our briefing this morning, frankly, just because I'm excited that there's some thunderstorms actually in the forecast for some locations here starting today. But depending on where you live, this is very much going to be a tale of two completely different weather patterns here over the next couple days. Got some good news mixed in there for some of you as well. So let's break it down here with our key points. If you happen to live down to the south and the east of the Central Mountains, we're talking the Snake Plain corridor, down to the Utah border, over to the Wyoming border, your taste of spring continues today. We've been telling you that, but now also Thursday. This is good news for a decent chunk of our forecast area. We're going to pull Thursday out of the basket and continue with mostly sunny, clear skies, dry conditions, and for today and Thursday, even warmer temperatures than we saw yesterday. So if you've been enjoying the taste of spring, been enjoying those afternoon temperatures here over the last couple days, we have not one but 2 more days of this type of weather for a decent chunk of the forecast area. Now, there is a storm system coming in, and you're at least going to notice some increasing southerly winds that are going to get a little bit stronger each day here over the next couple days. So that will be out there, but dry conditions for a decent chunk of the area. Now, let's jump further west and look at the other weather pattern that we're going to be experiencing if you happen to live across the Central Mountains. We're talking north and west of Shoshone, up through the Wood River Valley, Stanley, Chalice, Mackay, this region. Still mild on temperatures. We're not bringing the cold air in yet, but we are going to see increasing showers, some thunderstorms, and those southerly winds that the rest of the region's experiencing both today and Thursday. Now, as we go into this afternoon, best thunderstorm potential looks like it's going to be about 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. We can't rule out a shower, couple showers, maybe an isolated rumble of thunder before that, but our high-res model's really keying in on this 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. window this afternoon and evening for the best thunderstorm coverage, isolated to scattered up across the Central Mountains. And we have some really interesting atmospheric parameters in place here. We think stronger cells may actually become a little bit strong, a little bit zesty out there with some pea to penny-size hail and some wind gusts over 45 miles an hour. Not expected to be a high-end severe weather day. In fact, there is a chance of a storm going severe, particularly to our west as you head out into the general Boise region. We're going to be kind of on the eastern periphery of that, but just do be mindful that a few of those stronger cells may have some hail and wind today across the Central Mountains. So that's your setup for the next 48 hours, kind of for the western or northwestern half of the region versus the east and the south. Now, bad news for everyone. The main low-pressure storm system responsible for all of this, it's actually sitting along the coast, and it's going to move southward along the coast for a couple days, and that's what's granting us this extension of the spring weather across portions of our area. It's finally going to move inland. It's going to eject inland on Friday, and that's going to switch things up, bring in more widespread rain and snow showers, continued wind, and much colder temperatures for Friday into Saturday, into Sunday, regardless of where you're located across our forecast area. Here's what that looks like on our weather risk outlook, breaking it down by day. You can see much less yellow shading here for today and tomorrow. We've even removed it here across the southern and eastern highlands and the Snake Plain because, again, we're holding on to that taste of spring as we get into eastern portions of the area. But breezy conditions expanding. You can see those showers and thunderstorms here today for the Central Mountain region. Some expansion in coverage here for some of our zones into Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, breezy to windy conditions, much more widespread rain and snow shower activity, trending colder as we go day by day. So you can see the word snow appearing here quite a bit more, particularly Friday night into Saturday. So if you're looking for snowfall impacts or you're concerned about snowfall impacts for your home or for maybe some travel out there, particularly in our mountain areas, really Friday night into Saturday is where temperatures are going to get cold enough that we're going to start to see those impacts increase versus more breezy rain shower activity prior to that because of those warm temperatures that are in place. Also, I did go with windy instead of breezy. Little change in the wording here for the Lost River area for tomorrow, also down in the Sawtooth area, and then in the South Hills, kind of the western half of the Southern Highlands. I'll show you that graphically here in just a moment, but we may be seeing winds as high as our advisory criteria across those areas. Still some high pressure. We're still not to the thunderstorm period yet. That's going to be this afternoon, so we have no watches, warnings, or advisories in effect across the region here this morning. Satellite loop locally is nice and clear. You can see that moisture streaming in off the Pacific. You can see the leading edge of the system starting to move in across the Pacific Northwest, but very little to no low stratus or fog concerns, and almost no clouds across the sky in our local forecast area here as we open the morning. We'll bring some of those in starting this afternoon. Nothing on radar as well this morning too. Low temperatures this morning, very similar to what we've been advertising, maybe just a touch warmer compared to the last couple days. You can see some readings below freezing in the mountains. Some places getting down into the lower to upper 30s here for coldest readings down at lower elevations, particularly the Eastern Magic Valley. And we're actually holding in the mid 40s right now as I take a look at our weather station here at the Pocatello Airport as of just after 5 a.m. So we're overperforming here just a bit on those temperatures. High temperatures today, at least 5 degrees warmer than readings yesterday. So again, outside of that shower and thunderstorm potential here in the central mountains and outside of a little bit of increase in wind out of the south, warmer yet. Compared to the last couple days here, you can see readings ranging from the upper 50s to upper 60s and possibly 70 out towards Shoshone and Jerome. Not far off from that, too, for Burley and Minidoka. Salmon and Chalice getting up into the mid-60s, 52 for Island Park, up in kind of a colder region there. Severe weather outlook today from our agency's Storm Prediction Center does a really good job at highlighting the areas that are at risk this afternoon, again, especially after 4 p.m. for that shower and thunderstorm activity. The darker green shading here is where there is actually a marginal risk, a level 1 out of 5, so low end, but a marginal risk of a storm or two becoming severe in producing damaging winds or large hail. That's particularly going to be out over the Boise region, but a little bit of a chance inching into the Stanley and Chalice corridor here late this afternoon, early this evening. In general, though, just a few strong thunderstorms possible across the central mountain region, as far south as places like Haley and Mackay as well. Thursday, inching forward here. Again, we're pulling this one out of the basket. We're holding on across the eastern half of the forecast area to mostly dry conditions. Still some sunshine. And look, these temperatures are not that different on Thursday compared to what we're forecasting today. We may lose a few degrees here in the central mountain region because we're going to see more and more shower activity across this area, more cloud cover as the system gets closer and closer. But still, lots of 50s and 60s out there across the region, so feeling really nice temperature-wise. Here's that severe weather outlook for Thursday. Very similar to Wednesday. We don't actually have a risk area for severe storms at this time, but still some thunderstorm potential in the areas highlighted in green. And you can see that line maybe tries to inch just a little bit further south and east. We're including Arco, Craters of the Moon, Shoshone, areas just west of Burley now on the edge of that. But again, possibly holding dry. One more bonus day of spring here across eastern portions of the forecast area. Every day will be breezy pretty much from this afternoon going forward, but Thursday and Friday really kind of lighting up for us with those strong southerly winds coming in ahead of this low pressure system. So this graphic is showing those wind gusts on Thursday, particularly during the afternoon and evening. Anywhere you see yellows, oranges, and reds, we're at least gusting over 30, but down here across the Raft River region, portions of Cassia County and down along I-84, possibly some wind gusts over 50 miles an hour. May see a few of those up here in portions of Lemhi County and surrounding areas as well. Friday into Saturday, here's our temperature crash. Again, bad news. The system's finally moving in. More rain and snow showers for everyone Friday into Saturday into Sunday. Over here on the left, temperatures only coming down a little. It's not going to be the end of the world on Friday. We still have readings ranging from the upper 40s to maybe the lower 60s still being achieved here across portions of the Snake Plain. But jump over here to the right and a significant drop in temperature as colder air moves in by Saturday. And again, more and more snowfall potential Friday night into Saturday night with these temperatures, bringing those snow levels down to just above valley floors. May still mix some rain in across lower elevations of the Snake Plains, some of the adjacent valleys, but mountain areas seeing increasingly snow versus rain for that shower activity. Wind gusts strong yet again on Friday, mostly out of the south-southwest, and you can see here gusts ranging from 30 plus in the yellow to over 40 in areas that are shaded in red here across the Central Mountains and again down across portions of the Southern Highlands. So stay tuned as we watch Thursday and Friday. We may have some areas that we may need to issue some sort of product like a wind advisory for, particularly for some difficult driving for high-profile vehicles and just some outdoor objects blowing around. Maybe a hint of blowing dust, too, for areas that hold dry as we head into the early stages of this system. One more thing to put on your radar here. We haven't talked a lot about spring flooding just yet. In general, we're in good shape. We're looking at the rivers constantly here at the office. We're not seeing major flood risk in the next week or so with this system coming in for most rivers, but the spot we're watching the closest is right here along the Portneuf River. Portneuf River at Pocatello is the gauge we're showing you here. The blue line shows what the river's been doing over the past few days. You can see it is below all the pretty colors. It's not at action, it's not at minor, it's not at moderate. This means that it is not bankful, it's not flooding, so that's good news. But as we go forward, this purple line is the forecast. And as we head out here to early Friday morning, we get to what we call action stage. According to the latest forecast, that means the Portneuf may be near bankful, and then we may be able to achieve minor flood stage as we get out later into Friday into Saturday morning, which means we may start to see some impacts in low-lying areas and possibly places like Sacagawea Park here in Pocatello as well. This forecast does get adjusted here multiple times a day. We're going to continue watching this. It is dependent on many things, such as how much rain is actually going to fall over the basin here for the Portneuf, but do want to just have this on your mind. This is the one river where we are watching for maybe some minor flood impacts here over the next week or so. Everywhere else we'll continue to monitor as we get deeper into spring and we start to melt off that higher elevation snowpack. We're just not quite there yet outside of the Portneuf. And that's what we're looking at here for the next week. A lot going on, but at least there's some front-loaded good news for portions of the area with that warmer temperature taste of spring continuing. Be on alert for some of those stronger thunderstorms across the Central Mountains this afternoon. We'll be back with a new briefing tomorrow morning. And if you have questions, comments, concerns, as always, we're here 24/7 at our office. You can reach us with the information shown on this slide. Everyone, have a great Wednesday.